What's up, my reseller friends? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sabrina. I thrift to resell on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. I am a part-time reseller, and in today's video, I have a come ship with me. I'm gonna go ahead and do my shipping. I'm gonna bring you along. I'm gonna talk a little bit of reseller talk along the way, and you get to see which item sold for me. I've also been feeling like I really wanted to talk to you about some of the misinformation I've been seeing about reselling on social media. So I'm gonna quickly talk about that. First, I wanna start off by just letting you guys know how things have been going for me. If you watched a couple of videos back, I talked about how I am transitioning from selling full-time to selling part-time. I was just selling items on eBay by myself from my garage at home, and that was something I was doing every day full-time. Well, even though I will say that my business is very successful and I do make a good amount of profit from reselling, just things have changed a lot. Prices have increased, expenses have gone up, the economy has changed. I live in a very expensive place to live, and it just wasn't cutting it for me. So I had gone and got another job that I work part-time. So now I work part-time outside of my house doing my regular job. And then I also work part-time here in my garage reselling. I did start my new job last week. I started selling part-time maybe about 2 or 3 weeks ago because I just had a lot of stuff I needed to do to prep for this new chapter I have in my life. So I have been part-time for a little bit now. I haven't really noticed any difference with my sales. I do have this theory though that once you do change things up within however you're selling things on eBay, that sometimes it takes a couple of weeks till you start to see the effects of that. So rather that's something negative towards your business or something positive, just any sort of change, I noticed that it does take a little while for that change to really affect you. So maybe that's what's going on, but honestly, my sales have pretty much been the same. They're inconsistent, like they've been all year, but it's coming out to about the same. And I found that to be pretty interesting, but we're gonna see where the next couple of weeks lead me. My husband had this theory about myself. I don't know how much I believe this, but he does know me better than anyone else. But he has a theory that me working part-time is actually going to make me do better at reselling, because now I only have a certain amount of hours per day that I can spend on it. And I'm really gonna try to be maximizing those hours as much as I can. And that's probably going to, in the end, kind of like balance itself out. I don't know, we'll have to see how things go. But as of right now, I'm doing great. And I'm gonna tell you one of the biggest things that I love, that I'm loving right now as a full-time reseller. This is my job. This is how I help support my family. If I'm working all these hours, which is hours that's taking away from my family life, if I'm working all these hours and then I'm not having anything to show for it, I have a day that's really slow, I made like 30 bucks today, I'm gonna tell you that is so discouraging. I don't care if I made up for it the day before or, you know, the day after and it balanced it out. There's just something about those slow days as a full-time reseller that just kind of breaks the heart a bit, and it's very discouraging and very stressful. At least for me, that was the case. But now when I've been having my slow days, I've already went in and worked today in the office. And I come home and it's like, you know what? If I have a slow day on eBay, it's not that big of a deal. It's making me feel like eBay is becoming fun again. Or not just eBay, I just mean reselling in general. A lot of times when I say eBay, I really just mean, I'm trying to say reselling. Yeah, ultimately, I know that this decision to go back to work has ultimately been the better decision for my family. And though I've only been there for a week, and my first week was pretty much all training, because the person I'm replacing, it was her last week before she was retiring. So I had her there with me for a whole week. And she was just training me on a lot of things. I took in a lot of information. So it's really hard for me to kind of get a feel 100% on how I'm gonna feel about the job. But I will say that of any job I've had ever in my life, this is the one that I have the most peace about, and I just have such a great feeling in my heart that this is going to be a very fulfilling job for me, and it's going to just be amazing. And I just can't wait. I can't wait to see how this is going to change my life and have an impact on my family. And I just want to thank everybody who responded to that video I posted. If you haven't seen it, it's probably about 2 videos ago that I posted. I talked more about this. It was a very emotional video for me. And I just want to thank every single person who responded to that video and sent me words of encouragement and just poured love out on me. And I really appreciate that so much. And it's because of all of you guys that I am going to continue to post videos on YouTube. And I hope, and I just pray, I ask God just to give me wisdom and the right words to use in my channel, in my videos, where I can help teach other sellers how to be better sellers and how to make eBay just be a better platform to just contribute to the positivity of that. All right, so with that said, I'm moving into my next topic. I'm hoping this isn't going to be too long of a video. It might be a little bit long. We'll see how it goes. But the next topic that I really felt drawn to talk about, because it's just been something on my mind a lot lately, is I have noticed that there is a lot of misinformation out there in social media about reselling. I want to start off by talking about the main thing that drives me nuts. And I mostly just see this on Facebook, Instagram. I don't have a TikTok account, but I know that this is on TikTok. YouTube Shorts is about how many videos and advertisements and accounts that are geared towards making people believe that reselling is easy. Talking to people who may just be starting off in their reselling journey, I'm just gonna tell you that selling on eBay, selling on Mercari and Poshmark is a great way to make some money, especially if you just need a little bit of extra cash, if you want a great side hustle. For some people, you could actually make a full-time career. I tried and I failed. It is great, but it is not easy. Just because you go into a thrift store doesn't mean you're gonna find all these home run items. I even feel like a lot of these videos that I see, they're mostly like little shorts to just kind of be like, you're not gonna believe what I found at this thrift store. I really feel like a lot of these people who make these videos set it up. And I even see some where they're like, I found this Louis Vuitton bag, and it's so obvious that it's a fake. And it's just, they just drive me insane. So basically what I'm trying to tell you, for those types of videos, if you come across them, watch them. They're fun to watch sometimes, but don't take them serious, okay? Those people that post those types of videos, the only one who's benefiting from them, from those videos, are themselves, because they're the ones that are making all the money, getting all the views, you know, growing up a social media account or whatever. But they're giving out misinformation to people. And not only that, they're causing people to become sellers on eBay that are just there to think that they can get rich quick. And they're not really serious about it. They don't have a business heart. They're not professional, and they're going on to our platforms and they are flooding our platforms up with junk or with listings that are not quality listings, and then they have horrible customer service. Guys, I'm not talking about everybody, but this is, it does cause this, right? So just be careful. And then I want to go in to talk about Facebook groups. because that is the ultimate source of misinformation. People join these groups, reseller tips, you know, all these like types of different eBay groups. You know, I have learned quite a few things from those groups. So I'm not going to say that they're complete garbage, but a lot of the people who respond give horrible information. They're mean. They put people down for asking for help. And it's just a very toxic environment. And then I also want to talk about YouTube videos. So even though I do have my own YouTube channel, I do have very few YouTube channels that I watch, that I follow. You should be finding channels of people who sell the same types of things as you do and who have been doing it for a while. I personally, if there's a YouTuber that I'm gonna watch, I will not invest my time in subscribing and watching their channel if they do not post a link to their eBay store. And then I go on their eBay store and I look. There was a YouTuber that I was watching. I'm definitely not calling anybody out here, guys. That's not me. So I'm not gonna say who it is. Some of you may be able to know who I'm talking about, but I'm definitely not gonna say who it is. There was a very popular YouTube channel that I was watching, and the person whose channel this was, very charismatic person, very good on camera, very good at answering questions, and very good at presenting as a professional. And I do believe this person is a professional. But this person did not list their eBay store. So I went and did my own investigation and found it. It's not that hard to find YouTubers' eBay accounts. So I found it. But there was something, a part of me that was like, I kind of like this person, but at the same time, something doesn't feel right about it. Like something seems kind of off. And I just want to look at their business before I take advice from them, because I was just going with my gut. So upon looking at their eBay store, I saw that they had a lot of bad feedback. And I can understand, maybe depending on how much you sell, like if you have one or two, it's going to happen, right? It's not that big of a deal. But if you have like a lot of negative feedbacks, like that's a red flag. Sellers should not be having a lot of negative feedbacks. And then I looked over at their sales, like what items sold, and it didn't really seem to be as good as that person led on in their channel. And so then I made that decision, even though I enjoy watching this person's video and they appear to be very smart and intelligent, which I'm sure they are. I don't know them personally. I just made that choice that I'm not gonna use my YouTube time on that channel in particular, that I rather use it on other channels that I feel are more fit for me. So I unsubscribed and stopped watching that person's video. And turned out later on that this person actually got kicked off of eBay. So I think that my gut was leading me in the right directions. But anyways, I talked way too much and this video is gonna be too long, sorry. So we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna try to go really fast on the whole shipping part because I've already spent way too much talking. So I guess I'll do eBay first. So the first item I have is this Dragon Ball Z shirt. So that's pretty much what it looks like. And I listed this shirt back in May of this year. So it only took a couple months to sell. I bought this at a yard sale for $1. And I had it listed for $30 or best offer. And somebody sent me an offer for $20. And I decided that I was fine with turning my $1 into $20 and that I didn't want to be too greedy and hold out and who knows if this will sell later. So I took the offer and I ran with it. This weighs 8 ounces and it's gonna cost me $4.68 to ship. I charged the buyer $5.25. And the next item I forgot to grab, so I'm gonna go grab that one real quick. Sorry guys, it's getting kind of hot. Whew, it's been like, today it's supposed to be up to 105 degrees. So these were my daughters. She went through this phase where she loved drawing and she loved anime, and she has gotten over that. Unfortunately, I loved that phase. We had so much fun watching anime together. But yeah, so I have these two how to draw books, and yeah, these weren't just hers, that she didn't want anymore. I sold them for $9.99 plus $5.38 in medium mail. I listed it in January of 2023, so these are over a year old, right? No. Yes. Crazy. It didn't seem like that long ago that I listed it. I wonder if I put in the right date. It didn't seem like that long ago. Well, it weighs almost 2 pounds. And because I have calculated medium mail on here, it charged the buyer exactly how much it's gonna cost me to ship, which is $5.38. And I always like to ship my books in bubble mailers. I don't like to just put them in a regular poly bag. If the book feels more delicate, I'll wrap the book in cardboard and then put it in one of these. Next item is a hat from a radio station. It's a vintage hat. This is what it looks like. I bought it at a estate sale. I listed this one also in January 2023. How weird is that? I had this on mega clearance for $4.99 plus shipping. When things take a long time to sell, I do mega clearance on them. Just want to get them out. Let's see what this weighs. Okay, it's gonna get rounded up to 8 ounces. It's gonna cost me $4.68 to ship. I can't remember if I said I got that in an estate sale. Next is a shirt that I bought at a thrift store. It is from a band called Under Oath. And this was like a rare t-shirt that came in a bundle. So like an album came out and it was like, if you bought the album, it also came with like a t-shirt and like other things. So it wasn't something where you could just buy the t-shirt like regular. And I listed this one pretty high. Like I think I started it off like around $60 and I dropped it in price a few times because this one was listed in September 2023, so it's almost a year old. I dropped the price to $40. Someone sent me an offer for $32. I was happy with it. I paid $3 for it. This is just what it looks like. It's just a band t-shirt. I always love to pick up band t-shirts. This one I probably could have just sold it a lot faster if I just would have listed it for the right price, but it was one of those things where it was kind of hard to know its value because it was more of a rare shirt, so it just took me a little bit longer. But I mean, it sold for $32. That's really good for just a band t-shirt. And oh, and I forgot to mention, it did have a flaw. It was a great size because it was a double extra large, but it did have a pretty significantly big hole in it. And I did list on the title, the very first word is with flaw in capital, and I always try to do that in my listings, is put that in the title that it is flawed. That way there is no mistake and I don't get returns opened. I always try to be so honest with all my listings, the best that I can, or to my knowledge. So yeah, this is gonna cost me $5.45 to ship. I charged the buyer, wait, hold on, is this right? No, this is wrong. See? I get distracted sometimes when I'm talking to you guys. I should have updated the weight to 8 ounces. I had it at 12. So yeah, it only cost me $4.55 to ship. I charged the buyer $5.25. So that worked out great. Next one is something I picked up at a yard sale. They already came in this little bag and everything. They're like these little Tsum Tsum looking characters of Peppa Pig. And I listed this in May of this year. And it sold for $10 plus $4.32 for shipping. I'm just gonna ship like I do all my plush inside a poly bag. But I always like to put them inside a plastic bag and then they go into the poly bag, which I'm not sure is too good for the environment, but it keeps the items safer and I think buyers like it. So I continue to do it. And this is gonna weigh 4 ounces. So it's gonna cost me $4.19 to ship. Next item is a Quicksilver shirt. And as you're seeing from a lot of these types of things that I'm showing you, these are the types of things that anybody can find, right? They're bread and butter. I sell a lot of bread and butter because if I'm gonna be buying like you know, like if I want to be listing like video games and like vintage t-shirts, you know, the things that everyone's out there looking for, those are not cheap to find. They're very, very, very hard to find. So, you know, I don't stress myself out over that. I try to go for more bread and butter type things. I have been focusing lately on trying to get better bread and butter type items and just leaving more things behind, especially now that I'm part-time. I just don't have time to be sourcing a whole bunch of stuff anymore. So I have to be more picky with what I list. But anyways, this is another bread and butter type thing. It's a Quicksilver shirt for women. And, you know, these surf brands, skater brands, stuff like that, like they're really easy for me to find here in Southern California. They're very popular. They're all over the place. Honestly, I should have just waited on listing this one until I found another one that I could have bundled together. But I had it listed for $10 plus shipping. Somebody sent me an offer for $7.50 and I was like, that's fine. I don't care. Let's move stuff out. I don't remember what I paid for this, but I know I wouldn't have bought this at a thrift store. I had to have gotten it at a yard sale. I probably paid like a quarter for it or something. But yeah, I listed it in February of this year. And I charged $4.36 for shipping. I weighed this and didn't look at the weight. Yeah, it only weighs 4 ounces. It's very lightweight. So yeah, it's gonna cost me $4.36 to ship, which is exactly what the buyer was charged. Next item, a replacement, is a replacement part for a Fallout game that I parted out. I sold a lot of pieces from this game. I made some really good money off of this. And now I just stopped selling them. Like whatever's left over, they've just been like sitting there for like over a month and they just stopped selling. So now all these leftover pieces that I have, I'm willing to just like get them out, right? So I have this one listed for $15. This is like the manual for the game, and there was like a reference one in there too as well. There's like 2 different, like how to play and reference or something like that. There's 2. I had it listed for $15. Someone sent me an offer for $10, free shipping. I took it. And I put it, the way I shipped it is I shipped it with a piece of cardboard behind it. And let's go ahead and weigh see what this is gonna weigh. 6.5 ounces. So it's gonna cost me $4.68 to ship. This isn't a lot of money, but I listed this at the same time with all the other pieces. And when I list things like that in bulk, and there's very little I have to change with each listing, like it's worth it to me. If I'm just doing these like super fast, it's fine. The last item I have for eBay is a game. It's this one right here. It's a Disney Pixar Seen It DVD board game. This was my family's personal game. I went through our linen closet where we keep all our linen, and our games are all kept in there, board games. And I cleaned it out because we ran out of space in there, and like things were like on the floor and like piling up, and it was a hot mess. So I cleaned it out. I made 2 piles, which was donate, and then another pile that was sell. And I actually had a lot of stuff in that closet to put in the sell pile. And I did get like a large amount of games. We don't play board games as much anymore. That was something we like to do a lot. Like when my daughter was younger, she won't play board games with us anymore. And you know, I don't know, it's just something that we just don't do that much anymore. Me and my husband have like particular games that that we play all the time. And it's like, I really just don't see us. Like, I feel like we're in a new chapter in our life where like, we're not going to sit around and probably play like Disney's Seen It, which is like him and I, you know? And I don't know. It's just one of those things that we've just moved on with. But I did buy this at a yard sale originally. I listed it for $14.99 plus $11.99 in shipping. But luckily for me, this is shipping to an address in California, and I live in California, so that's gonna really help me out with the cost of shipping here. If this was going all the way to New York, it probably would have cost me the whole $11.99 to ship. But because it's staying here in California, it's only gonna cost me $6.94. So I got really lucky with this one. But I hope that this will go to another family who is going to enjoy it and love it like we did. All right, so that's gonna be all of my my eBay sales. So I'm gonna go ahead and print these ones out. I actually went through these a lot faster than I usually do. I was pretty good. But now I'm gonna jump into my Poshmark sales. I got 2 Poshmark sales and then that's it, we're done. The first one is gonna be, I'm just gonna show you here. There's no way you can see it from the bag. It's a romper. What's the name of this brand? I always like don't know how to say it. Is it just Athletica? Is that how you say it? I don't know. But it's a romper. And I listed it, and then like the day after it got cross-posted over onto Mercari and Posh. Someone sent me an offer on Posh for 36. I had it listed for 40. I felt like 36 was totally fine offer. I listed it at the right price of 40. That was about what it was worth, but it was worth it for me to take $4 off to sell it fast. So no problem. And then because it sold on Poshmark, it likely will not be returned. So that was another, like, that's another reason why sometimes I don't mind selling things on Posh for a little less, because it's harder for them to be able to return it because they do not let their buyers return unless they have like a really good reason, or like I didn't describe it properly or something. But for the most part, as long as I've done my part and done everything right, this person can't return it for any reason. And Poshmark is pretty good when it comes to protecting their sellers from stuff. Sometimes they'll refund the buyers and then let you keep your money. So I will say I've always been really happy with Poshmark's customer service. So I've got one more item left. This one sold for $12 and it sold very quickly. Get your Halloween stuff listed, especially Disney costume type stuff. These are boots from Anna from Frozen. These are Disney Store boots, so they're a little bit higher quality, like a little bit better than if you just bought these maybe at Halloween Spirit or something like that. So these are really nice boots, and they probably originally cost like maybe like 30 bucks or something. So these were a really good deal. They're in really good condition. The yard sale that I bought these at, I made a huge pile of stuff, including some vintage Juicy Couture bags and some like a backpack that already sold for $40. Like I made a huge pile of stuff and I paid $20 for everything. Like just, that was such a great yard sale. And these boots came from that. So I'm pretty much already just feeling like, oh, and I also got like an Elsa dress that was like a nightgown, but it was like one of those pretty nightgowns that can kind of be a costume and be a nightgown at the same time. I sold that one for $12 too as well. And that sold like super fast. Like that day that I listed it, it sold. So that kind of stuff's selling right now. Make sure you're getting them listed, like anything that's like costume. I'm not 100% sure how well Halloween in general is doing, but costumes right now, people are getting a head start on it. So get those listed. And my favorite box to ship on Poshmark is the Priority Mail flat rate. You can ship flat rate boxes on Poshmark. And the medium size one, that's the 11 by 8.5 times 5.5. This is like the box that I use the most on Poshmark. So if you're selling on Posh and you're ordering your few free supplies on USPS, make sure that you order these ones because these ones are just the best ones in my opinion. Of course, a lot of it has to do with what types of stuff you sell. And then again, I always like to ship my clothing like in the padded envelopes. The padding just makes it better. You know, these things are free to use, right? I'm not gonna ship a t-shirt in a box. I feel like that's like overkill a bit. But if it's a lot of t-shirts, like it's 4 t-shirts, then I'll put them in a box. So that's typically how I like to do it. And that's gonna be it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video at all. I hope it was helpful, guys. God is good, hard work pays off, and never forget that when you thrift upon a star, all your dreams will come true. I'll see you all next time. Bye.